Hello and welcome to another Friday funny epic I said story twice. A funny epic story from my D&D past. Today I'm going to be talking about a story. Most of the stories I've told are from my perspective as a dungeon master, where other people were the players. This story is actually me as a player. Something that is not very it's very rare. I rarely get to play. But it's a good story. So to preface this was actually a campaign being DM'd by Dave, who was in my Death Crew group. He wanted to make it's been a while. It wasn't like a political intrigue campaign, but it was more of a investigative kind of deal. Basically, we were in a city, and I can't recall exactly what our task was. We were supposed to find out what was going on in the city. It's very hard to describe. It's been a while. This is like 2 years old now. Basically, we were in the city to investigate. We had been hired by, I think, like a merchant, not lord, but like a high-ranking member in the government who wanted us to determine, I guess people were going missing or something like that. To make a long story short, I was playing as a changeling warlock masquerading as a Triton. I originally was going to be a Triton warlock and take, I believe it was the Deep One subclass, but then I realized that if I was a Triton, the Deep One basically just, the swimming speed, the breathing underwater, stuff like that, was something the Triton already had. So I was like, okay, I'll just play a changeling and then make the background that I'm pretending to be a Triton folk hero who I think I had made it, or I talked to Dave and they had sacrificed themselves, and I basically took up the mantle, like pretending to be them so people wouldn't be disheartened. But that's basically the character. I was a warlock. I don't remember my patron's name. I never think I came up with one. The campaign, it's not like it was ramshackled together, but it was very quick paced, very quick turnaround. I think we talked about doing it like on a Monday, and then we played that Friday. Dave was a great dungeon master. I will say that he's far superior to my play style, which is common with a lot of the dungeon masters I've played with. I'm not saying I'm a horrible dungeon master, but I have my foibles. But basically, to make I'm just going to explain the whole campaign, because we only played maybe 4 sessions, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. It's been a while, 2 years. But what ended up happening was the party met together. We had been hired by a merchant lord or a high-ranking member, and he was like, "Hey, figure out what's going on in the city. I don't trust the local magic." I think it was a magic college. That's where a lot of his animosity was towards. He was like, "Oh, they're up to something," which it did turn out they were. Basically, we started investigating, and I think that night we all retired to the inn. Connor and Lee decided they were going to stay in Connor's wagon, and they were going to put up protective spells. My character wasn't afraid of what was going on, so I was like, I'm just gonna stay in the tavern. I'll stay in a room. It's fine, a nice comfy room. Just to be awoken in the middle of the night by this strange eldritch octopus starfish like creature trying to force its way down my throat. We fought it off, and I think there was a 4th player who, I don't remember his name, I don't remember his character, but he showed up for that one session, saved my ass, and then I don't think we played with him ever again, which was very strange. But basically, the story's gonna. I'm just. I'm just explaining the campaign, trying to get to the cool moment I had. But basically, after that, we started hunting down these creatures, trying to figure out where they were coming from. And then, kind of a weird twist, we met with the high-ranking lord again, and he was acting all suspicious. And then he left in the meeting very quickly after he got a headache. And Dave said, "Oh, you all start to feel woozy." And then that's when we encountered the false hydra, which, for those of you who know, false hydras are terrifying, and for those of you who don't, False Hydras are this homebrew creature. It's definitely not canon in D&D. It's not by the book, it's homebrew. But basically they look like hydras, multiple heads, except the heads are kind of more or less humanoid. It's very difficult to explain. But to make a long story short, they can, once they eat someone, everybody forgets that person existed, basically. And which will come up in the story. Basically, the one player who was only there for a session vanished after that because they didn't play with us anymore, and Dave was like, okay, well then they were eaten by the False Hydra. So we start fighting it. It's going so-so. We're doing damage to it, but it's doing damage to us. And then I believe it grabbed and swallowed one of the party members. I don't remember if it was Lee or Connor. But they were being swallowed. They were being hurt. They were going, it wasn't looking good. So my character, a warlock, you don't get many spells as a warlock. You get, I don't remember what level we are, what level we were. I don't remember what spells I had except for one, which was Dimension Door. So I decided, okay, my buddy's been swallowed by this thing. They're going to die if I don't get to them. I'm going to jump down its throat. So I did. I jumped down the False Hydra's throat, grabbed, like I said, I can't remember if it was Lee or Connor. I grabbed them, Dimension Doored out. We then finished the fight, killed the False Hydra. And I think we didn't end the campaign there. No, we continued on. But that was one of those moments where if you're being, like, I was a little disheartened from D&D at the time because I wasn't burnt out, but I was just sad that I couldn't play with my old group because I burned bridges, I'll admit that. But I was kind of in a place where I was like, D&D, kind of faltering. But then after that moment of being not necessarily a hero, but doing something heroic, I found a love for D&D again. And after that, my campaign, Death Crew, continued. And even now, there are still moments where I feel like maybe I should take a step back from Dungeons and Dragons and just relax. Because I suffer from anxiety. I take medication for it. And unfortunately, D&D has become a point of severe anxiety for me, sitting down and playing, even if I'm not recording it. I don't know if it's because I don't like sitting still for long periods of time, but I will find myself making excuses to not play. But I want to play, and then I don't want to play. It's very confusing. But this is one of those moments that reaffirmed my love for Dungeons & Dragons as a player. I still love doing it as a DM, but like I've said before, I don't get to be a player very often, which is unfortunate. It's just as fun as being a Dungeon Master, just for different reasons. But I don't know when I'll get to be a player again, because I enjoy it, but not as much as being a Dungeon Master, so I don't go hunting for opportunities to be a player. But I guess that's it for this story, I don't remember it. No, I was gonna say I showed this off in Monday's video, my character sheet for Kublo Khan. I was gonna say, I wonder if that's my character sheet, but no, Kublo Khan was, this character's a sorcerer, I was a warlock. But I guess that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.